Hello everyone, welcome back. It is time, I feel. It's been long overdue, but I need to design me a new ship there, specifically designed. Here's hoping it actually works out as I'm thinking, that can destroy starbases for me. Considering we have two starbases in my back door that are really awkward and annoying, and I'm kind of worried to send my beetles out after them, because they are more designed to take on the Oaths. They're not really an all-around fighter. They're kind of pretty specialized in what they're supposed to do. So I figured, hey, instead of the usual routine, well, as we already know, instead of just putting slapping deflectors on here and armor plating, why not just make a brand new ship designed to be my siege breaker? To basically put it. That's all I can really say. Unfortunately, I still only have access to the medium ships there, so I'm going to have to figure out... Actually, I want to know, what kind of equipment do I have access to? That's going to be pretty important. Let's see. I got deuterium... Yeah, I got deuterium hull reinforcement, so... I can use that for a little bit extra health, but it's nothing too drastic, so that's a possibility. We could all... What is this? Rapid recharger? Oh, that's for... Ooh, that could be useful for lasers if at some point. Let's see. Lowers damage though, so it's hard to judge there. What else do we have? Sensors, okay, nothing there. We got hull plane for the armor. Let's see, what does this do? Yeah, 8 hull planes. So basically the plan is to have like one of each almost. Ideally, if I could get them like an additional upgraded version, there would probably be a little bit better. But something that can mitigate almost all of the damage that a traditional standard starbase and shipyard can at least throw at me there. And then counter it with really high powered, in my case it's probably going to be energy weapons, because that's where I spent my effort into. And yeah, I don't really have the deuterium to reliably get a bunch of these railguns, essentially, or these mass drivers, so I'm kind of stuck with the just traditional stuff for the time being. Maybe I can switch that later on as I get more, but that's the idea. Hopefully it works out. If not, we can just hold on to it for the time being until I get the more to research that I need. But without further ado, let's get this figured out. And the first thing I want to do is... Instead of working on the engines like I normally do, I want to figure out the front piece. Oh. There's the components I was looking for my last attempt. Although it doesn't look like much. It's just the front piece for my my infestors. So I'm going to have to get rid of that. Because that is not doing what I would have liked, unfortunately. So let me try and find a shell there. Ideally, I would like a nice circular shell. Is that even possible? Well, that's kind of like a half circle, so not the best. But from the looks of it, it's like the closest I can get there. That's ideally hollow, because I don't want these components there, because they kind of got that structure piece in the way. Let's see, yeah. Because if I were to use that, it has like that metal piece in the way, which doesn't quite do what I'm looking for. So we're gonna have to try with a shell piece, and we might have to get like 2 of them, and then scale it in such a way that it can look circular. That's my thoughts anyway. So let's see if it can work or not. So let's get, first off, proportional scaling. Actually, let me just offset it back. So that way they're kind of merged together. At least now with the mouse you can actually see what the hell I'm doing. Because that actually looks like a good piece right there. It's a nice set piece there. What I would like, ideally, is to have like all the weaponry be based inside this little gap here. Where kind of be like a battering ram, essentially. All the power is going to come from the front. Although, realistically, that's not going to actually happen. Let's face it. But I want to at least try for it. Especially if technology makes it look more appropriate later on. Oh, and I'm on the wrong scaling. Let's see. How can I make this look good? That's pretty decent. Is it the scale I want? I'm not sure. I may want to make it smaller. If I can change that more. Because maybe I want it as circular as possible. Like that. And then we adjust even more. I have to remember not to move the mouse. Ugh. That looks awkward. That looks odd. And there's a bit of a gap there too, which doesn't help either. So that is a start, although with the textures probably squished as it is, it's gonna need some reworking, possibly. Now let's just move it so that way it's not on the centerpiece, because this is supposed to be far in the front. And that can actually work pretty well. I just need to somehow fill it up even further there. So I should continue on with the shell, I think. I just wonder, can I just copy this? Is there a way to make like a copy of this? So that way I can just keep it going. I would like to just be able to just keep working with... Can I just hold shift? Would that do? No, I'm moving it, I think. Oh wait, or is that my screen moving it? I'm just trying to figure out if I can copy this. Let's see. Group it, ungroup, save a group, so I can't. I could save it, I guess, but that won't do. I don't know. Don't see an option, so I may have to do this the hard way for the time being. So, what I had in mind, we're just going to keep that hull going, or at least the shell portion going. Where is that copy? There we go. So we're going to flip it over, there we go, and see if that can fit in that piece. Of course, the scaling again is going to need to be adjusted, but that could work. Actually, it doesn't look too terribly bad without the adjusting the scale. It's just that metal trim as usual as might be an annoyance. Actually, I could live with that. I actually could live with that. I just want to see if I can adjust the scaling some so it doesn't look as awful. Can I fix that to kind of make it more fleshed out? There, that looks good. Maybe need to move it in a little bit more. Possibly. There. That all looks like a decent one piece there so far. I don't know if I want to wait until this is further back maybe. Because this looks like it could connect to wings or something, so... is that what I... Actually, maybe I can correct this to some extent. Use the said portional scaling to kind of help. I'll have to offset everything again, mind you. But that could work nicely. I just gotta make sure it's positioned properly. And of course, this is like just a shell. Okay, that looks much better. I could work with this. Everything is hollow though, so I'm gonna need to fill that at some point, especially the back. But now, we can start putting some like superstructure on the side here, and actually could fit in there pretty well. So, what kind of piece do I want to use? I could use more hollow pieces there. I don't know if that's the best idea. Especially since I got adjusted some. Okay, that looked really weird. I was worried a moment there. Ooh, wow. That circular piece... Is it me or does that circular... Oh, never mind. That's because there's two copies of them. That's why. The circular piece almost looks like it belongs there. It really fits in really well, I gotta say. Do I want to keep it? Let me actually play with the scaling some. See if I want to make it smaller or not. Just to experiment a bit. It actually looks pretty good like that as well. It's not much of a superstructure, mind you, but... And on the other hand, what happens if I make it bigger? Oh wait, that's the wrong scaling. I forget what that scaling was, unfortunately, I misclicked. What happens if I make it bigger? Of course, obviously there's an extreme to this. A little bit of an extreme, so... I do like the potential there. It feels like it works. I just want to try and figure out how to... if there's any flaws to it. it seems good. So what I'm going to try to do is do proportional scaling instead, try and stretch it out some. Because it doesn't seem like much of a superstructure, so I want to see if I can stretch it out further or not. Nah, it's risky. It's threatening to ruin everything. It's threatening to, but could this work? Can I make this work? Hard to judge. That could work if I'm able to take advantage of it, but I honestly don't know if it works. I got two possibilities, so I think I'll just shrink it back down. If I really want to, I could shrink the y-axis even further, I guess. So it flushes in a little more. Maybe? Because we can have it connect like that, although I do need to get rid of that little metal piece there, which means they'll have to get taller, maybe. There, that's not too bad. Again, need to somehow figure out how to cover up that hole in a way that it looks ideal. And I think I already know how to fix that. Let's see, what's on the back of this piece? Yeah, the back of this piece has like a blue light to it there, which looks like it's like a power core or some kind of energy weapon. If I can position it properly in some way, it could fit there. Problem is, where the hell can I fit it? Because I do not want copies. That's the big problem here I have. I don't really want copies, so if I can get a single piece there, I'll be pretty good. So there's this... Okay, there we go. I found the starting piece, so I can move it like that. And maybe get in place that way. There. It's going to need to be adjusted, obviously. Will scale alone do it, or do I need to scale it differently? It actually works out pretty well there. Even though that's still like that piece I just put in is poking out in the bottom. I don't know how well it stands out. It is messing with that frame a little bit, but it almost looks like it connects too. So I'm okay with leaving it as is, and that kind of solves my problem there, what I had in mind. Partially. Whether it's still going to work, no idea, because still need to figure out how to add some width to this thing. Because now I am left with only a little tiny bit of like gap here that I can utilize. So do I want to put that as an engine block of some sort? I don't think I do, to be honest. Either that or these are just the wrong engines I'm using. Because there's still, it still needs to add something there. I'm trying to select this thing. I might as well just do it the other way. Maybe if I make these small thrusters, that might be a lot better. Because yeah, they're kind of sticking into the metal frame, which isn't ideal. So what if I move it in? That's decent. But of course, still doesn't solve my problem that I had in mind about connecting everything together, so there's that. I can use proportional scaling though to stretch it out longer though. And then that'll help fix that. And do I want to shrink it? Can I shrink it more? No, probably not. Is it me or do they seem a bit off angle? And maybe it's because they're overlapping with each other a little bit. So let's try 60. Can we make these look like they belong together to an extent? It's okay for smaller engines anyway. It's not the most flush. That's my only argument, or only issue with it. And now, I need some widths. I need some massive width to kind of like... Because really, I don't want this thing to just be like a rifle or anything like that. This is a starship. This is the ship for war against the Saiyans. I do not want to deal with it looking like a musket or some kind of Mass Effect type of gun. Whatever it is. I wouldn't know what to call it. So let's see, can we make this work? Because that actually That's actually kind of cool there. It's a little bit too big, mind you, scale-wise, so... But is there any place in particular I could put it that might be good? Do I want all the way back? Probably not. Well, if I... It's... There's some weird lighting there that's kind of clipping somewhere, so... I'm gonna have to fix that. Which means almost means I want the scaling to be bigger. So, how does that seem to me? Am I okay with this? Or do I need to move it in more? Can I move it in and it'll look decent? Not bad. It still doesn't look much like a ship just yet, mind you. But it's added a little bit extra width. I just need to know, how do I work with this? Because of how big these things are, it almost feels like I need to make the nose longer, which is my only fear. So I'm wondering how I want to correct this. If I can correct it all. Yeah, because that's a block. I don't want to make it too big or long even. Can I make it smaller in a way? Because yeah, it seems way too bulky. So if I can shorten it to help. Whoops. Let's fix that. There, that might help some there. If I just get it, reconnect it, is all I need. There, it actually helps a little bit. Still need to figure out how the hell I'm gonna put wings on this thing though in a cockpit. That's gonna be a problem. I need some kind of solid point. I could probably do where it's curving there in the back, maybe. Is there any kind of cockpit that'll work there? Preferably one that's not backwards. Oh, well, I don't need two cockpits. Let's pass on that idea. That's the problem with mirroring everything, because almost every single component is mirrored. So I can't really get two of those unless I could somehow connect to the centerpiece, which is I can no longer get access to. So there is that. I do have this one piece I can use though. If I could connect that, maybe I can, but of course it means adjusting pretty much everything that I want just a single piece of, so maybe I have not thought this through the best. And of course, what kind of cockpit piece do I even want? That's a big question. I think this piece here might be ideal, because these other ones here are more like cockpit fighters. They're not exactly representative of the scale I have in mind, at least. They look like more something a fighter would use, so... Alright, let's try and connect it here, if that's at all possible. And like I said, have to readjust everything around to make this work. Okay, and I'll just invert it, I guess. There we go. We're going to offset it, as usual. It seems to be starting to take some really good shape, though. I just gotta make sure it's to my liking when we start getting near the completion of it. Now the question is, do I really want a cockpit there or not? Or is it just the wrong type of cockpit for me? Because it's gonna fit in there awkwardly. Not exactly gonna be the best spot. Yeah, not really the best spot, is it? Can I at least somehow connect it in front there instead? If I can blend it in there pretty well, that might look decent. Can I do that? Is that at all possible? How does that look as is? Like all the other things, it feels really noticeable to me, because I know the flaws. So that's the only problem I have with it. There's a lot of little things I could do with it. Maybe I could stretch it out to kind of connect with that front metal frame, which will help offset it a little bit. Only problem now is that the metal's starting to poke out underneath. So I don't know what to make of it. So let's have a good look at this. I want to know how it is. The texturing is pretty noticeable there. I could see it, but it's not as bad as I would probably make it out to be. There's just like hard ends to these like metal trim that I'm not really fond of, but the sides there connect pretty well. There's a tiny, I might need to move it up a tiny bit forward so the metal is in place properly, if that's even possible. Because yeah, all the other metal is kind of sticking out. Am I okay with that though, or can I push it forward even more? And of course I need to click on the model, because every time I try and click it, it's going to go somewhere else. No, that's not to my liking. It's okay otherwise. It's just that weird situation where you know it's flawed because everything doesn't line up perfectly, and as a result you're really paranoid it's not as good as it possibly really looks. So there is that. And of course there is something I need to kind of flush out the back there, I think, to kind of connect. Is there a simple way I can connect that? I think I can just use a simple shell to maybe just line up with it. Is there a shell piece that'll work with that though? I'll have to scale it down a bit though. And I don't definitely need them that size, so let's shrink it down. We're gonna have to rotate them around a bit. Okay, I don't know what that rotating did, so I'm gonna have to. Okay, there we go. I might have to rotate them around the other way. There we go. Now, can that do it? That could have the same curvature, if I get the proportional scaling right. Let's see, it's not really curved, but it could fit in there maybe. Let's find out. Although I can't make it as long as I want, that's the only downside. But if I can make it flush in there, it might not be so bad. Hard to say. Because I don't know if I want to bring it down lower or not. Let's see. Preferably without it going into the metal as much as it is. That would be good. That'd be best case scenario. It just seems like it's getting worse and worse. Especially with the light starting to peek out there. It doesn't seem natural. So, have to fix that somehow. I don't know how to make that flush. It's fit in there very well. Have to try and adjust a little bit more. I would like to get it to fit in there. Oops, what did I move? There we go. I was wondering what I moved. There's a very tiny gap there. I would like to have that be connected. I don't think I'm gonna get it though. I don't think I'm gonna get it, and then that makes this back portion pretty awkward. Do I want to abandon this? Because I don't know what other piece I could put in there. Actually, maybe I can put this piece in. Could that do it? Again, I'm gonna have an issue of only having like one piece. Or mirrored pieces, so have to connect it on there. That has the length anyway to do it. Is it what I want though? Because it has potential. The beginning of it was looking very promising. Now everything else is just falling apart, trying to make it look good. Go figure. Yeah, let's see, this is awkward now. I think I need to drop the scaling down quite a bit to flatten it. I'm not going to get it to fit any other way. Now, how does that look? It's not bad there, although there's this weird intersection of textures there. That's noticeable. Not to mention the fact the metal there is a lot thinner than this metal frame above it, so there's that working against me too, isn't there? This is annoying. Let's see. I would like the metal to connect together. I guess that's all I'm gonna get. And how's everything else? Well, at least it's not as noticeable here. So that is okay. Now, how do I go about the wings and like the width of it? Do I want to try quad engines to kind of like give it that scale or size? Is that what I want? And where the hell do I put it? Can I get it in the bottom there? That's what I want. I'm not seeing anything highlight blue, so I have no way to know if it's connecting where I want. There, that looks like heavy-duty missile launchers for you, doesn't it? Although it wasn't what I had in mind. And of course I can't make a copy of it. So I'm gonna have to make another one, see if that is to my liking or not. Which one is this? Iconium Model 23, so can I get away from another one like that? Let's just have some fun with it. Let's see how many there's some rocket barrage for you. That's actually not too bad, now you look at it. The only problem is this thing is not really doing missiles there. I wonder, can I scale it down and actually will look appropriate, I wonder? It actually is not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Where it fits there properly is another matter entirely. That's actually not bad. I might be considering keeping it. I just need to work on fitting it properly so that everything looks natural in place. Now, if only I got proper missile launchers for this thing, then we'd be looking good. Now I gotta remember, set axis 0.5, what's the scale like? 65. 0.5. That's actually not too shabby at all. I just need to connect it with something proper. Is that something to keep or not? It seems perfectly fine as is. It might be too heavy duty though. I kinda was interested in just the frontal weapon there. So maybe I want to make it smaller. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Would make it smaller be better. Well, not if it goes through the metal. Like it is, so. And I'm not going to fool with the other one so I can remember the scaling size of it. Yeah, at that size, it almost feels like it should be placed somewhere else. Because it seems a little awkward, but those bigger pieces seem perfectly fine. I'll just revert it there. What's the scale on these things again? 65. We'll put you back to where you belong. Let's see how we can work with that. And was it 0.6 was it? No, 0.5. So that is good to know. It's making progress though. Now we need some quad engines, I guess, and then we could put some wings on there, hopefully, and then do some final touches to it.